Hello, my friends. I'm gonna. Anybody who's been watching my videos knows that this little laptop here, at the angle that I'm at, has audio issues, and I don't have a solution just yet. So I'm gonna lean in uncomfortably close. All right, but it's not an attempt to make a statement. It's an attempt to have better audio. Um, I've got two more chapters to go in my UAP UFO study guide, and it is a lot of work for me. It's more work than I thought it would be, um, because I'm not just riffing. I'm trying to present the material in depth and trying to give you the proper academic commentary that would help you understand. But you also need to understand that to speculate about alien contact with humans, the aliens, if they do exist, are unknown. Even if we know they exist, even if there is a disclosure, most of it will be unknown. If an alien spacecraft or something, miles wide, showed up in orbit, started transmitting messages, and then flying saucers came down and landed in major cities or geographic areas and started, using some kind of translation or something to speak in human languages, yes, we would know more about them. But there's still so much we would not know. There may be much we could not know. And we need to take into account that one thing we know is we know about ourselves. We know how we interact with outsiders. So, in speculation, I have to talk about human elements, sociology, psychology, and most importantly, people, history, or what the academicians call historiography. I'll say it again, historiography, which is not just historical records, but the study of history, the study of records, the study of how historical records are interpreted and how people react to historical information, how the information is gathered, biases, and things like that. We know about that, and we're still studying more and we're still learning more. So, in order for me to talk about what would happen, I have to talk about what had happened. What happens when a more technologically advanced society comes into contact with a non technologically advanced society? What do human beings do when they have technological advantages, when they have military advantages? And I think some of you are getting frustrated, and I'm looking right at you, white people. Um, you know, I think the average WASP and the average Anglo Germanic guy who's into this topic doesn't like hearing about colonialism. Or if they do, it's just a quick passing glance. But I mean, it is such an important thing when you talk about first contact between cultures. The average WASP and the average Anglo Germanic person, especially guys, especially, older guys, older than 12, let's say, um, feel threatened, take it personally, and the current trend in society right now is the power structure just doesn't like hearing about criticism and self-reflection, and they're getting violent about it. They're like, this is an attempt to destroy Western civilization. And the funny thing about Western civilization is it has always claimed to be self reflective and self critical, not criticizing, but critiquing. All right? So many of you are having trouble with my videos, and a lot of you are leaving, and that's fine. you know, um, the book isn't for you. the concept isn't for you. Um, See, I look at it this way. I wrote the book because of interactions with people, including one of my favorite white people, my friend Trifton, who's very smart, well educated, highly mathematical, right? But he had an incredibly irrational response, and it looked like he had gone insane and wanted to use force on me for thinking differently. And had he done so, like, he had to have known I outweigh him. I have military experience, fighting experience. I was his chief martial arts instructor. He wouldn't have stood a chance, right? But he was driven to this rage by this information. And I think that's what's happening. Some of you are experiencing a rage response because he's talking about colonialism. And one guy said, "What does this have to do with UFOs?" So I'm going to help you. Um, I'm going to help those of you that are angered or confused and upset and feel personally attacked about my videos going so deeply into history and the system of white supremacy and colonialism and things like that. If you don't understand the video, here's how you understand my videos. Watch it all the way to the end. When you hit something, when you hear and see something that upsets you, don't stop watching, don't stop listening. Most importantly, don't just start putting barriers in place so you're like, I'm not going to listen to him anymore because he insulted me. Right? He insulted my whiteness. He insulted me. Instead, just listen. This is a rare skill for some of you. Okay, just listen. Listen to the end. Think about it. See if why I said a certain thing comes to you. What's the context? I'm trying to set context. I'm trying to set foundational ideas. If you don't grasp it, shut up. Go back to the beginning, watch it again. Right? Try to watch it with the idea that, well, you got this far. I'm deep into the book and the concepts. You got this far. You must be interested in it, and you must have seen some value thus far in what I'm doing. And when we get to the part about cultures and power structures and race and religion and history and colonialism and oppression and the system of white supremacy which rules this planet, for good or bad, I'm trying to be neutral here. I can't be, but I'm trying to be neutral. I'm trying to have objectivity. Objectivity is what brought me here. Be objective. And then if you watch it a second time, decide, like, is this the path for me? Do I want to understand? Because if you understand, you'll have to rethink things. You'll have to reevaluate. Just as you would if aliens landed. If aliens landed, you have to reevaluate our place in the cosmos and our history. And you probably got 7 chapters into this video series, and each chapter is like, the smallest was, I think, 3 or 4, and the last one was 7. Chapter 7 was 7 sections long. You got that far. If you really want to understand my perspective and my research and why I'm writing this, it's not to hurt you or anybody. It's not. Then decide if you want to go on. If not, unsubscribe, leave. I will not let you insult anybody. I will not let you denigrate anybody. I will not let you insult me. Look behind you, folks. You're in my house. You don't come to my house and insult me, call me names, or anything like that. You're not doing it to any of my guests because these people are also in my house. I let you in my home. because I wanted to give you information that I thought would really is important, more important than I'll ever be, right? Because this topic is important, and I think it's real. So decide if you want to walk down this path. But if you want to understand it, watch the video all the way through to the end. Be objective and remind yourself that you came to me because of the topic and you got this far. And if you don't grasp it on the second time, watch it again. Watch it 20 times. Certain things require more than one look, even fiction. For example, the book Dune, right? I read that book every year for 20 years. I read it and reread it, and I still get more out of it. After the new movies came out, I pulled out a copy and I went through and I was like, wow, even something new, right? There's people that study the Bible and the Quran and the Torah and the Talmud, the Upanishads, the Rig Veda, the Heart Sutra, the Lotus Sutra every year, over and over again for a lifetime. And oftentimes they say I get something new out of it each time. Are you following me? And if there are deep levels of meaning to anything I presented, I'm not claiming to be the originator of it. I didn't go up in the sky and, make F-18s and F-14s track me. I didn't fly over the city of Phoenix. Okay? I didn't fly over Tehran. I didn't disable fighter craft's navigational and targeting system. I didn't do that. This is stuff people are reporting in the world. Okay, when I say Ronald Reagan and I think Jimmy Carter had UFO sightings, I didn't go there and fake it. These are people that had their experiences. I didn't fly over Washington, D.C. in 1952 and fuck with the targeting system of, I think they're called the Sabre jets back then. I didn't do it. The phenomena did it. I'm looking through the phenomena and I'm trying to present it. I'm trying to find a way to study it. I'm trying to speculate about it. And guess what? I am a human being. I'm as much a human being as anybody else on this fucking planet. Alright? And I put my intellectual labor into it and the physical labor of presenting this video series because I think it's important. I'm just as intrigued by you, but don't be surprised if I have a different viewpoint than you. Don't be surprised if I view the current political situation, the racial dynamics, the power structure different than you. It lands on me quite different. The mere fact of having curly hair lowers your status in certain groups. The mere fact that my nose isn't small and tapering to a point and going up lowers my status in society, right? However, my skin is light enough that it's not as low as some people's in certain eyes, right? The fact that I can speak to you in English versus not making this in Turkish or Swahili or Spanish or Portuguese affects my reality and often through the reactions of other people. So don't expect me to give you the perspective of, I don't know, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Anglo-Germanic kid raised in, Seattle, Washington, or North Carolina. Don't expect me to give you the same perspective of a 30-year-old single mother of any race, anywhere. I'm giving you my perspective, and I'm giving you as much context and as much detail and as much rational explanation and support of my ideas as I can. And if that bothers you, you don't have to watch. But if you're in my house, I don't care how white you are, how rich you are, you disrespect me or my guests in my house, you're gone. You're gone. If you attack me, expect an attack back, and I will escalate. Right? In the realm of physical self-defense, if someone throws a punch at me, I don't just throw one back. I have to end that situation. I have to assume control. If someone attacks me verbally, I have to find a way to neutralize you. Right? Whether it be talking back or blocking you from my channel or whatever it is. I did not do any of this to harm anyone. I did not do any of this to damage any society anywhere. I think I'm doing a good thing. I think the information I'm giving is helpful in the now and will be even more helpful in the future. And in order for me to do that, my research, my rationality, my emotion, my intuition all went into it. And all of that says, put this in a historical context, put this in a racial context, put this in a power dynamic context, put this in a governmental context, put this in a religious context, and do it in depth. Otherwise, you will not get where you want to be. If you don't understand my videos, genuinely don't, treat it like a book. Read it over and over again. Take notes. It's what I did to write my book. Alright? But you being upset won't make any of this go away. You're kind of telling me subtly, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear that what my group of people did to other groups of people in the past is a possibility for us. I don't want to hear that we did it. I don't want to hear about slavery. Okay? I don't want to hear about Islamic slavery, Christian slavery, Hindu slavery. I don't want to hear about religious supremacy. I don't want to hear about who might rule this government versus another government. You don't have to watch. But if you're going to watch, I put a lot in here for you. I put a lot in here for you. I put a lot of effort in for you because I want you to understand and I want you to grasp what I have come to understand and grasp, because I think it's important for me and for the planet. That's why a book that I could even self-publish and even try to make some of my money back, I'm putting up here for free. All right. So I'm kind of giving up potential profit to get the message out to everybody. Y'all have a nice day.